Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and I'm going to try to demonstrate a short here. I may not get filled. I may be getting a little bit too conservative here. I'm trying to enter on this limit order right here. You see the trade trick. There was a second entry long that failed, and so we got a trap here. And when it ticked lower, that triggered the trade to go short, and I dropped the limit order in. I'm not sure if I'm going to get filled or not. I might should have. But I want to get room to get out before I get down to this previous little support area because we may bounce off of that. I'm really looking for prices to go to the other side. I think we have a bigger channel here. We had one move up, then we had a move down, and now we've had another move up. Um, it doesn't look like I'm going to get filled on this trade. I'm probably being too aggressive with it. And so there we go. All right, I'm short now. And you see it gave, by putting my limit order there, it gave me room to get out before uh, without having to break lower below that previous low. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten my stop to 2 ticks above this high right here. I could bring it to right here, but I don't want to make my stop too tight on a trade that I really like, at least not yet. So at this point, I'm just going to get it to 1 tick above that double top right there, because if we go back up that way, that's wouldn't surprise me if we didn't. And just to show you what I've seen so far this morning while we're waiting on something to happen with this trade, we had a little channel working up, but it turns out I think we've got a bigger channel going on here, and this was just the move to the high side. Then we moved back down to the low side. The way you know when it's time to possibly go long is first you're thinking prices are probably going to come back down to this trend line. If you saw this, and you may not have seen this, but at the very least you've got this trend, this little trend working down, and so you get a break of that, and you get a little failed double top. You get a little double top with a failed break higher there, and that's a trap. And you actually had a failed second entry short here for the long, so that's why I marked that one green. There's a lot of overlap there, but it is a trap. Just kind of like here, there's a lot of overlap here. There wasn't as much when the trade triggered as there is now, but there still was a lot of overlap right there. And so this made this a little bit more of an aggressive trade, but you see it worked out for an easy scalp. And then you got the trap to the short side, and it went right down here to where I was expecting it to go, to this channel down here. And maybe I've got that drawn a little bit wrong right there. It's probably more like it. That's correct. Let's take another look at this one. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right there. And so then you get 2 legs down to the trend line and a bounce, a nice little doji there, a chance to get long. You don't know that it's going to take off like that, but it did. And this was a great trade. Any runners were easily safe here. You can ride this all the way back to the upside. I exited when it entered right there, but there were several entries on the way up, and these are all lots of overlap with lots of little small bars, but that's the only way you're going to get in on a little tight channel like that. And so each time it comes back, there was a failed second entry short here was the reason I like this one. It did pull back and give you a chance to get long with a limit order here, because you are going long at the high. But even if you used a stop and you kept your stop below the signal bar, which is really this bar, you still were okay. All these trades worked out great. This trade certainly didn't work out the way I was expecting. I expected it to run down there really quick because it was a trap, but evidently there weren't enough people trapped. All right, let's see what happens. I'm really tempted just to go ahead and see if I can get a tick or get out at break even here. But I still just think we're going lower. I really do. These are the ones you hate when you come within a tick, and the ones that really are frustrating is when it bounces off your exit order and you can't get a fill and then it rockets the other way. Those just kill you, but you know you're trapped when that happens. And generally when you're trapped, it takes off pretty fast. And so far, we'll see how this bar ends here. This because I still think we need to break below this bar right here. We really do. For it to go lower, but I'm expecting that's still like it to the short side. And it did. It just ended as a little inside bar. And you hate getting caught in this stuff. And that was a good reason why this may not have been a great trade, because of all that overlap. I risked it. And it shows you what you got to go through sometimes if you do risk entering in this stuff. You'll have to fight it out sometimes. And if you get a chance to squeak out, if you don't like it, you might want to squeak out with what you can get. Gotten out with a tick there if I'd wanted, but I still think we're going to come down here and at least test this low here. If we get it. Which will be well, we got half of them. There we go. We got filled now. We didn't quite tick through. You saw how it filled a few at a time. It took a little bit of work. I'm going to go ahead and move this to break even. I'm going to move it to break even +1 because I don't want to give any back. I may get myself stopped out. I still think we're going lower. Let me tell you what. Let's just move it to right there. See what happens. Hey, short of that. So that usually means you're going lower. And there we go. We're moving lower again here. If we can get through right there, it may rocket on down. And what I want to do, if it goes straight down, I want to get out way down here next to the, when it touches this. So I may have to adjust this as prices move closer to it. But you can see this is worked on out kind of like I expected. And while I'm at it, we probably need to go ahead and see if we don't have a channel of some kind right here maybe. Just so we know where to. So we may bounce right here off of that. It could be right here. Going to leave it there for now. So we'll probably undulate down this way. So I may go ahead and exit this. If it bounces off this line, I may go ahead and exit. Take what it'll give me. Our entry was 84.75. So if we could get out at 82.75, we'd get 2 points, another $200. Turn this into a $600 trade. And I think I'm going to try that. Just see what happens. Probably once it hits it, it'll rocket straight down there to the low. But this trade's getting kind of long. I'm well over my target today. So if we could make another $600, that's just gravy for me today. We'll just have to see what happens. Okay, I had a distraction, and while I had it on hold, you see they got our break-even stop. So this must be right along through here like so. Probably like that right there. But anyway, we made a little over about $400 on that trade. We didn't get a runner again. We probably should have taken what we had right here, but I really thought they'd go ahead and break it low. I still feel like we're headed down here, but we're probably going to work down through this channel. So it's going to take a little while. We could make one more run higher. I don't know. We just have to see what happens here. But my guess is we're headed to down here somewhere, and it may just, you know, we got this channel going. So until we get a break of this little channel, I would look for it to continue going lower. We'll just have to see. But we got a double bottom here too. It's been an interesting day. But, you know, that's how I usually manage a choppy one. And, you know, there were several ways you could have managed this trade. You could have snuck out of here at break even +1. You could have taken your stop above this little high instead of leaving it above this one and taking on more risk. You know, you could have just scalped out in full. Lots of ways you could have done this one, and I probably would have been better off just to scalp this one out in full because we would have made another, you know, another $100 anyway there. So, but it's been a good trading day. I think I went over all these trades already. That's all I'd seen so far. There was actually a really good entry right there, which I was already in the trade. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it real quick before I wrap this video up. And I may edit this video some, I don't know. But there's a trade. You could have taken the way I did it. So you could have entered either place there. They both worked. You had to take a little bit of heat on my entry. But you definitely was a little better entry there. And that might have talked you out of it, that little bar right there. Even if you just come in here, but you see it moved on down pretty, you know, it didn't happen quickly, but it moved on down just like you would expect. And easy scalp. They come back to get the break-even stop, so no runners. And we may continue on down here. We'll just have to see. But that was pretty much it for today. I'm going to let this be the this is going to be our chart lesson for today. It's a little early, but I'm done for the day, and it's a pretty day here. I'm going to get out of here. I've got some errands I got to run too, so it'll give me a chance to get out of here a little early today. And but I hope you're having a good trading day. I hope you enjoyed, you know, the trade example. It wasn't the prettiest trade example, but it worked. It did what we expected it to do. Prices are still headed where I expected them to go, which at this point I was really looking for them to at least come down here. But I still think prices are working back, possibly working back to this channel, if I've got it right here, which I think I do because we had too many bounces off of it right up through here. So we'll see what happens as the day progresses. I'll be back later this afternoon, and I'll leave my charts going to the end just because I'm curious to see where it ends up. But this is almost 50 minutes worth here. I'll probably edit this some. So if you hear me talking about 50 minutes and it's not a 50-minute video, you'll know I edited out some stuff just to shorten it or whatever. So, but I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.